Okay. Good evening, everybody. Welcome along to the final Tuesday evening on what has been a very, very enjoyable racing series, the Geoff Page Engineering Super Classic Formula Ford 1600 Championship Esports Series. A big thank you to Alan Bowles, who is the Real World and Esports Championship Coordinator, for all his hard work behind the scenes with getting drivers on board, promoting it, getting co-commentators with us. We were due to have Rick Shortle with us this evening, which I was really looking forward to because I've followed Rick for a very, very long time, telling me that we're all getting together for the first round of the Real World Super Classic Championship here at Brands Hatch on the Indy circuit on Sunday, the 12th of April. So if you're not doing anything that weekend, why not come down to Brands Hatch and watch the Real World racing, and you'll probably have the opportunity in the paddock to meet some of the esports drivers. And if you are one of the esports drivers watching this back, obviously you're going to get to meet some of your esports cohort as well, which will be very good, and we look forward to it. But I'm very much looking forward to coming down. It's fallen correctly on the Sunday. I was a little bit panicky actually because I heard it was originally, I thought in my head I had it as the Saturday, which I couldn't do, but it is the Sunday, 12th of April. Really looking forward to that. You'll probably get a reminder of the dates in a little while. We've got a thrilling final event for you though this evening, and the championship, there is a leader which we'll come on to, but this is for me the home of Formula Ford 1600, the Indy circuit at Brands Hatch. It's where we've had the home of the Formula Ford Festival since 1976, and yes, I am old enough to have been at that one. I was in short trousers. I wasn't actually in short trousers because it was November. It was a bit cold. It was the year James Hunt won the Formula One World Championship, and the meeting then was a tribute to him. And I remember watching drivers like Rick Morris, who's still Formula Ford 1600 racing these days. I think there was if I remember correctly, it was a Formula 5000 race on that day with Eddie Cheever, before he was a Grand Prix driver, was in it. An Italian stuntman called Val Musetti was racing as well, and James Hunt was guest of honour, and we all had a fantastic day. It was absolutely rammed. I was cheering on Derek Warwick that day because I knew him via my short oval routes, and also a South African driver by the name of Bobby Scott, who's just had his, I think, 75th birthday a week or so ago, and still in touch with Bobby, and hoping to do an interview with him at some point and see if we can get him over for the festival as well. This is how the table stacks up at the moment. Gabe Norse is the man who leads and has the advantage coming into our last round, and all points are basically going to count. Although we have a dropped event in the category, that's not really going to affect any of our top runners, so it should just be a straight fight on points today. Norse leading by 29 points from Kieran Haynes, who is another 29 points clear of Scott Bugner, who had an absolute mare last week, and Scott down to third. Lee Pearcey climbed up into fourth ahead of Jack Smith. Then it's Oliver Gibson and Luke Cooper. Leon Frost in eighth from Chris Blakey, and Miles Ragg completing our top 10. 11th at the moment is Rich Hayden, followed by some more regulars from the world of VRRC racing, Andy Dorman, Andy Carroll, with newcomer Ollie Atkins 14th ahead of Thomas Potter. Thomas has been quick on the testing here at Brands Hatch, so let's see what he can do, but 15th in the table at the moment. Paul Laramie 16th ahead of Mason Turner. Then it's Alex Forster, who I think was going to be up towards the front in race one with our top 20 championship positions reversed. Craig Curtis, who has just done a handful of races in this one, is 19th, but has scored well on average, Craig Curtis. And the top 20 rounded off by Christian Gillian. If Christian is here, he will take pole position for race one. Our partially reversed grid as ever, getting our three races underway. Outside of that group, Callum Enstone 21st from Sam Gumbley, with Cat Potter, ever consistent Cat Potter 23rd, ahead of Kenny Press, with Sam Walton in 25th place ahead of Daniel Heaps. I think we've got Daniel back this evening, which is good. Harry Irvin 27th, Olavo Castro 28th from Kian Haig, and Aidan Ingram. We have had other drivers take part in the championship, but time constraints don't allow us to go right the way down all of the drivers that we've had or all of the scorers, mainly because we also now have to look at a team championship which we've instigated for the first time in the Super Classic Pre-99 Formula Ford 1600 Championship. And it's Gabe Norse and Leon Frost who top the table at the moment. A good healthy lead of over 100 points over Andy Carroll and Scott Bugner. Can still be undone, but at the moment, yeah, that's the way it looks. With Jack Smith and Ollie Gibson hot on the heels of Carroll and Bugner, looking to try and get into P2, if not into the lead. Kieran Haynes and Mason Turner, the young guns of the Swift Cooper team, are fourth from the VRRC sim team of Lee Pearcey and Rich Hayden. Swift Cooper's Luke Cooper and Miles Ragg next up from Chris Blake and Paul Laramie for Automac Racing. Book Aqua Racing, Ollie Atkins and Christian Gillian are eighth from Fast and Faster, Dan Heaps and Tom Potter. And Andy Dorman in what has become a sort of regular position for him, 10th position in the team standings. But good stuff from Andy Dorman, and a good effort when you consider that he is a solo entry in the team standings. Well, that sets the scene on points, and we'll keep you updated as best we can on driver points over the course of the evening. And of course, we got here via the last event, which was the Silverstone Grand Prix round, and it was won on points, and driver of the round was Gabe Norse. Absolutely stunning session last week, and Tom Nippers was our guest commentator last week, and we all agreed with Tom's choice of Gabe Norse as the driver of the round. Ollie Gibson had a good evening as well, and he wound up second on points on the evening, with Kieran Haynes taking the third podium spot. And just confirmation there on the right of screen that Gabe Norse was also driver of the round. The first driver, in fact, to take a second driver of the round from this series. The other winners having been Scott Bugner and Ollie Gibson, Kieran Haynes, plus we've had Ollie Atkins and Lee Pearcey, the other drivers of the round that we have had over the course of the 7 events that we've had so far, of which I was privy to 6. Jack Oliphant, of course, was in the chair for the first Silverstone event, and he was with Harrison Morrow on that occasion as guest commentator. So we've had an absolutely stunning amount of guest commentators. Andy Charsley on round 1, Tom Hawkins, Geoff Page, Harrison Morrow, Wayne Pearson, Callum Grant and Tom Nippers last week. So a big thank you to all of our excellent co-commentators. It's been a real learning experience for me working with those guys. Great to have had them around. So that's a quick look at our last round. We were hoping to slot in an interview with Rick Shortle at this stage, but I think Rick's still having the technical problems. If he is watching it, Rick, hope you're well, and we'll do it another time for sure, and certainly catch up with you at Brands Hatch. Now, what can we do is look at the venue, the Brands Hatch Indy circuit, very much the home of Formula Ford 1600 racing, and we'll be able to talk a little bit about the circuit and also have one of Jack Smith's fantastic hot laps for you. Now, of course, the advantage of a hot lap is that you're doing it on your own. It's clear circuit, so it's pure testing. The scenario is going to be different once we get into the racing with, in essence, 30 odd cars all doing battle on a very short lap. Here we come then into Paddock Hill Bend, and it is a massive drop. The cameras never really give you the drop. If you get to go around it in a car yourself, you'll get to feel that for real. Now into Druid's Hairpin, a great place to watch. It was much better in the day without the catch fencing, but for safety's sake we've got that. Now it's a run down Graham Hill into the left-hand corner here. Beware of track limits on the exit of Graham Hill Bend as we go on to Cooper straight-ish. Then it's into Surtees, McLaren's, and then into McLaren and then into Clearways. Clearways can be the start of a good overtaking point as we go through Clark Curve, past the pit lane entrance, up at full tilt. Defending the inside line here, if there was someone behind him, is Jack, and we go across the line for the shortest lap on the campaign, 47.59 seconds for Jack Smith. And that is roughly what the likes of Kieran Haynes and Jack have been doing in testing or practice prior to this evening's event. So I'm pretty sure Jack would nail his hot lap fairly quickly. If it was me, I'd probably have to do it 100 times and then probably mess it up each way as well. So looking forward to race 1 this evening, and the man that we need to watch is, of course, Gabe Norse and Kieran Haynes. 29 points separating those. Let me put that in context for you. It is 35 points for a race win, an extra point for fastest lap, and So therefore 36 points available on each race. So if Gabe has a misfortune and he can afford to do that, technically he will still be roughly there or thereabouts with Kieran Haynes. For Scott Bugner in third place to get up into the top position on the championship again. I remember Scott was leader after round 1, round 4, 5 and 6. He is basically going to need Gabe Norse to have some sort of misfortune in 2 races and of course finish well up the order himself. One thing we know about Scott Bugner from all of our racing in previous events is that he's very much elbows out. That's his own phrase that he uses a great deal, but he is 58 points down at the moment on Gabe Norse. Lee Pearson with a shout of getting up onto the podium as well, if not the actual overall championship win. Lee on 309 points. Brands is, I think, very much Lee's home circuit in the real world. I'll have mentioned before in commentary that his dad raced at the Arena Essex track, which is just the other side of the Dartford crossing, albeit not used anymore, which is a terrific pity. But Geoff Pearcey, Lee's dad, raced there. So Lee will be very much at home on Brands Hatch, and I'm guessing, as it's a sort of home circuit, will have maybe done more laps in the real world around here as well. Jack Smith, I thought, was going to be in with a shout of the overall championship as well. I had to miss a couple of rounds as Jack, which has sort of put him off kilter a little bit, but he'll be hoping to go out in a blaze of glory and maybe work his way up onto the podium. To be fair, he's around about 100 points adrift of Scott Bugner at the moment, Jack Smith, so that might be a tall order to get into the top 3, but he is only, let me see, 13, around just 20 odd points down on Lee Pearce, who's in 4th in the championship. So Jack looking for 4th in the championship. And Oliver Gibson, Jack's brother, on 281. So he's only 6 points down at the moment on his brother. And then we've got Luke Cooper on 268, Luke looking to get up into the top 6. And then Chris Blakey and Leon Frost both tied on 235. So it's going to be a battle of honour between the 2 drivers tied in 8th place, with Miles Ragg in 10th position at the moment. So that's a little run through for you of where we are in terms of the championship standings. And in actual fact, it's Craig Curtis who starts on pole position. So I don't think we've got Christian Gillian in the mix. Let's just have a quick look down. So no, we don't. So it's the 19th man in the championship that starts. Therefore, Gabe Norse is 19th. Kieran Haynes is 18th on the grid. Scott Bugner 17th. And then we'll go back to the sharp end. Craig Curtis and Alex Forster in his red machine. Mason Turner in the Swift Cooper livery. Then Paul Laramie in the magenta and green car lining up 4th from Thomas Potter. And again, going to be very difficult here to pick a winner from those front runners. And this is the quality of the field that we've had all the way through the Geoff Page Engineering Super Classic pre-1999 Formula Ford 1600 Esports Championship. We started back in January. We are now just into March, so it's been a really good campaign and has served, I think, as a really good warm-up for the Real World Championship, the Real World Championship sounds like a World's Championship. It is, as far as I'm concerned, they're all winners, but the Real World Series, which gets underway, as we mentioned, in April, so the guys have got a little bit of time to do that. 20 seconds before the start here on the Indy circuit, we're looking down from the hospitality suites here and getting ready for Craig Curtis and Alex Forster to get the show on the road. Good luck, everybody, for our final 3 races of competition from this wonderful series. The lighting sequence underway. Is it going to be Craig Curtis or Alex Forster first into Paddock Hill Bend? It's a good start. Very quick was Alex Forster to move, but Craig Curtis has had the more complete start and leads them through. Paul Laramie goes up into 3rd place. Mason Turner going wide, and Paul Laramie looking up the inside line as they come up towards Druids for the first time. Geoff Page telling me, and thanks Geoff, that someone's trying to reopen Arena Essex. I really hope they do that. As look at that battle for 2nd position as they go around Graham Hill Bend for the first time, and it's all gone pear-shaped at the front. And well, bit of disappointment there for Alex Forster, who was involved with that, but at least Craig Curtis in front with 2nd position Thomas Potter and Paul Laramie in 3rd. So Thomas has had the seas open. This could be a potential opportunity here for Thomas Potter. He's up in P2, but Craig Curtis is going to be a very difficult driver to beat. Curtis running with 0 kg, Thomas Potter with 15 kg. Thomas, is a star in whatever he races, is Luke Cooper now, who is an expert on the real circuit here, looking at Rich Hayden. I've interviewed Luke Cooper many, many times in the real world on the podium, each and every time an absolute pleasure, and he makes his way chasing Rich Hayden down the straight. Now, the race leaders, I'm guessing, because it's a short circuit, are going to find themselves in a little bit of traffic, and that is going to make things a little bit dicey when they get into the closing stages of this race. Through clearways they go, again focusing on Luke Cooper, 6th position. We'll have a look down and see whether our front runners. Gabe Norse is already up into the top 10. Some quick driving from Gabe, aided a little bit by Alex Forster and company getting involved, but Norse already up into 10th. Leon Frost is next up, Scott Bugner 12th, Kieran Haynes is 14th. So all of the top 3 of the championship have made good progress in the early stages here on the Indy circuit at Brands Hatch. Good start. So who's had the fastest flying lap? It's Ollie Atkins, who's back in 24th at the moment, and Ollie's been an absolute star for this championship. As Gabe Norse runs a little bit wide, they have to be mindful of track limits. We were hoping to have an interview with Ian Danaher as well, but Ian not able to join us for that. So I will say, Ian, hopefully we'll catch up online in a future championship. If we go that way, I sincerely hope we do. And a massive thank you for all of your hard work and support for this championship over the weeks as well. So Rich Hayden now picks up the fastest lap, 47.932. Had a quick natter with Rich beforehand. This is the look back from Chris Blakey, and here is the fastest man on the circuit. Has a little look down the inside on the way into Druids. They come out here. That spot there on the exit of Druids was where I watched week in, week out, Champion of Brands series in the 80s, the mid to late 80s. That was my place of viewing. Loads of photographs there. I used to cheer on Rick Shortle and watch the likes of Chris Ringrose and Andy Charlesley, who we had, of course, as co-commentator earlier on in the series. Now, Thomas Potter coming under pressure here from Paul Laramie as they go along the straight, across the stripe and down towards paddock. Potter under pressure. Paul Laramie here is going to maybe look down the inside run. He's certainly keeping it tighter. Potter will have a little bit more momentum as he took the wider line, and it is Laramie now coming under pressure from Chris Blakey, Rich Hayden. At the moment, it's all of the VRRC boys here, and the first non-VRRC driver in the proceedings is Luke Cooper in 6th place. A little wide moment there from Rich Hayden. He's going to have to be very, very careful about track limits there. Craig Curtis 3 seconds clear of Thomas Potter. Potter was really getting caught up, I think, with Paul Laramie in his mirrors. Laramie here going for the wide lines. They come off Clark Curve, past the entrance to the pit lane. Laramie under pressure from Chris Blakey, but it's Craig Curtis away. You'd think you were looking at the lead battle here, but Curtis again getting his head down and getting away. Exactly what he's done in some of the other races. Leon Frost now gets fastest lap. This is what I love about Brands. It will change. The dynamic of the race will change as we go through. Already a quarter of the way through this race. There is Andy Dorman in 8th place. Gabe Norse behind him at the moment. Let's see what Gabe can do. And remember, if Gabe finishes ahead of Kieran Haynes, which he's doing at the moment, he will increase the 29-point lead that he's got. I don't think he will be able to secure provisional championship in race 1, but if he stays ahead of Kieran Haynes in this one, he could well do it in race 2. But meanwhile, we're looking ahead from Andy Dorman, who's in front of Gabe Norse, who's been an absolute star in whatever he races in eSports series. And Gabe having a look to the outside initially, but now looking on the inside and does the send through down on the inside. Lovely manoeuvre by Gabe Norse going up into 8th place. Good, clean manoeuvre. We want to see some of these guys in real world action for sure. As off goes Rich Hayden. Runs wide at Druids, Rich Hayden. So the erstwhile fastest lap holder, the fastest lap now, by the way, is with Gabe Norse. So extra points available here. He's in 7th position at the moment, which would be 14 plus the one for fastest lap. Kieran Haynes is 11th, which would earn him 9 points. So the gap increases. And remember that Gabe Norse is doing all of this from 19th on the grid. Potter coming under pressure from Laramie again. Chris Blakey a little bit further back, has just dropped away at the moment. You can see in the, if you look at the right of screen, the wing mirror here, Paul Laramie, that Chris Blakey has dropped away just a little bit. Not that much on the timing screen. Leon Frost is behind him. Now Gabe Norse is up into 5th place. So Gabe Norse, sorry, 6th position, side by side with Ollie Gibson, who's had a very good start as well. Just having a quick look down the order. Do we have Jack Smith? I don't think we do have Jack Smith. I need to check that out. It's a job to look at so many screens, and I'm very much a one-screen person by and large, as we stay with Paul Laramie. Craig Curtis 3.5 seconds clear. This 2nd, 3rd and 4th at the moment. Ollie Gibson having a challenge there from Gabe Norse in the back of shot. Let's see whether Gabe's going to do the move down the inside. He does. He's got it again. So Gabe Norse runs wide. Gibson's going to try and repay the compliment. He's in the yellow and blue car on the inside. Does get back. And again, we've seen some good racing over the last 2 evenings of racing from these two. Norse is going to have the run down into Graham Hill Bend, though, and goes through. Good stuff from Oliver Gibson, who sees him. They give each other room. Fine racing from the pair of them. But Norse should have the advantage into the left-hander at Surtees. But they're still hanging on. They're still giving each other room. And tap on the back end from Luke Cooper. Maybe a little bit of internet lag there. Goes into the back of Oliver Gibson. And that's bad news for Luke. I think this is going to take pressure off some of the front runners. Curtis still the lead, 3.6 seconds clear of Thomas Potter. So big sort out. Oh, Jack Smith is on the timing screen. I'm saying we're watching Jack Smith there in 12th place. Apologies, Jack. I was trying to do a scan of the timing screen to pick up where he was. And I'm surprised that Jack's not further up, to be honest. Maybe got caught up in that first lap incident. We're not able to bring you replays of that, unfortunately. Have to sort of watch it back afterwards to see what happened. But Jack working hard at the moment with Luke Cooper, who has recovered from that little incident, still there in 11th place, and Kieran Haynes is ahead of him. Kieran's, who is potentially on for 2nd position in the championship. The key thing here for 2nd in the championship, Scott Bugner's in 7th place and Kieran Haynes is in 10th. So Scott Bugner's going to be putting a few off the 29 points deficit that he has from 2nd position in the championship at the moment. But Gabe Norse in 5th, very much in command in terms of the championship points. 11 minutes 24 to go. This race almost going quicker than many of the other ones that we've had over the course of the season. It's still Craig Curtis out front. We're still with the 2nd, 3rd and 4th battle. Potter, Laramie and Blakey have been very, very even at the moment. Gabe Norse in 5th is closing in though. So if Chris Blakey looks in his mirrors, we're looking ahead from Chris's car. And if you look in the mirrors, you can see Gabe Norse busy trying to close in. Gabriel Norse still with the fastest lap of the race. And is it getting closer? Kieran Haynes now gets the fastest lap of the race. Thomas Potter coming under pressure from Paul Laramie, who's going to go try and build up momentum here as he goes into Druids. Is he going to make a run down into Graham Hill Bend? I think that was maybe what that's about. Hasn't quite got the extra momentum to be able to do it. And had a spinner off in front. I think someone a lap down possibly that went off there. Craig Curtis still out front, but a side-by-side now for 2nd position. Paul Laramie momentarily gets his nose in front. This could allow Chris Blakey to get in the mix as well. Thomas Potter defending well at the moment, but he's going to be absolutely covered here. Formula Ford to the left, Formula Ford to the right. Thomas Potter grabs the inside run, but here comes Paul Laramie round the outside as they go into Paddock Hill Bend. Chris Blakey keeping a watching brief here, and Blakey goes wide, throws it into Paddock Hill Bend, gets it all crossed up, loses lots of traction, loses lots of places as well. So it's Potter and Laramie with Gabe Norse now battling it out for a podium. So Gabe Norse has done this workmanlike performance as ever he does. He's now up into 4th place. And we'll start to get on the case of Paul Laramie. Will he watch and wait as we saw Chris Blakey do? I'll tell you what, Paul Laramie's not waiting. He's definitely having a nibble at Thomas Potter. There's an opportunity here. You see cars in the real world go for that dive down the inside at clearways. And I'm wondering if that's what Gabe Norse is going to do. He's all over the gearbox at the moment of Paul Laramie immediately ahead of him. Here they come. Laramie has a challenge. Gabe Norse is going to go wide into Paddock Hill Bend, but it's another challenge here by Paul Laramie for P2. But he ends up going wide, and Gabe Norse sees the opportunity, and he's going to come through, looking in both the mirrors to see where Paul Laramie is. And Gabe Norse is now trying to go around the outside of Potter. He's got up into third place. Thomas, I think, has seen him, but Gabe Norse is going to get P2 here as he goes down through on the inside at Graham Hill Bend. Potter goes off on the grass. Was there contact between the two? Was Potter forced wide? I'd say probably not from where I was, but there was pressure on Potter as they went through Graham Hill Bend, and Thomas Potter's going to fight back and goes for the dive on the inside here at Clearways, but Gabe Norse has got momentum and will consolidate second place now, 4.89 seconds down on Craig Curtis, the race leader, and Gabe Norse from 19th on the grid, the championship leader, and dare we say at this stage, champion-elect, as they go three wide past the pit lane entrance, down into Paddock Hill Bend. Oliver Gibson and Scott Bugner in the mix there as well. Haven't had too much of a chance to talk about Scott Bugner, but a really good drive from Scott through from 17th on the grid. So he's made super progress. Leon Frost, Paul Laramie is in behind them. Then Luke Cooper, Jack Smith, Rich Hayden recovering as well in P10. But nobody can stop Craig Curtis at the moment, or Gabe Norse in P2, still with the fastest lap. So Norse will add 30 points to his campaign. Kieran Haynes will get 16, so it's going to be another 36, going to be 20 points clear. He will be 49 points clear if things stay the way they are. The chances are they probably won't do so, as we watch Jack Smith passes Luke Cooper. I'd love to see that battle in the real world for sure. Two great drivers battling it out here, and Jack Smith looking in the DK Power car around the outside. If he can hang on to that, he will get the inside. No, runs out of momentum coming out of Druids. This is for 8th place. So, our job to know what to do next. We still need to think about, later on we'll be thinking about driver of the round as well, as ever we do when we get to race 3. And Luke Cooper's done a good job getting back up into the top 10 here. He was outside the top 10, but has clawed his way back in. But Craig Curtis, the man who has led this one from the start. I'm going to have to note down where everybody in the top 3 in the championship finishes here to work out provisional points. Still have hang on, a quick change here. I think we've now got Kieran Haynes still in 11th, so the points haven't changed from where I spoke earlier on. Interesting to see Thomas Potter, despite the extra ballast, is not that far behind Gabe Norse actually at the moment. Thomas really working well despite the extra ballast that he's got on the car, and not really being lost by Gabe Norse. Gabe desperately wanted to try and close down on Craig Curtis, maybe pulled a 10th or so out of the lead of Craig Curtis. Third position, Thomas Potter hasn't had a podium interview for a while. I can't remember the last time we spoke to Thomas Potter. Oliver Gibson is down behind him. There is Oliver chasing Scott Bugner. And then they've got a little bit of leeway at the moment over Leon Frost and Paul Laramie in 7th, Jack Smith 8th, Luke Cooper in 9th, Rich Hayden is in 10th. And this is Oliver Gibson having a look at Scott Bugner. And Scott, who was very, very strong, at his strongest in the earlier part of the championship. Probably Ruse taking that evening off to prepare the car, but I guess the real world preparations are going to take precedence really over esports racing as much as you get into it. This is Gibson having a good run here. Thought he was going to maybe look for the inside. Takes a wider line as they go through Paddock Hill Bend. Leon Frost will try and get on terms with him. The gap between Curtis and Norse is now 3.1 seconds. It was 4. We've taken a second out of him, but we've only got 5 minutes to go here in this one. So Thomas Potter running a little bit wide, still in 3rd place. Kieran Haynes in 11th. Scott Bugner in 4th. And I need to keep a note of that for championship points, but as I say, at the moment Gabe Norse is on for 31 points, so he will extend his lead out by 31, and Kieran Haynes will, at the moment in 11th place, take 9 points. So it will move Gabe Norse a couple of steps closer to sealing the championship, possibly, we have to say provisionally, in race number 2. 4 minutes 10 to go on the clock. So we're into the last quarter of our opening of 3 races here on the Indy circuit at Brands Hatch. This is the venue, of course, very much synonymous with Formula Ford 1600, the festival, a superb annual event, as it has been for many years. It started its life at Snetterton, and we had the 200 circuit meeting at Snetterton. That was event 3. Doesn't seem that long ago, but the weeks have passed by very, very quickly as Paul Laramie starts to put a little bit of pressure on Leon Frost. So Paul Laramie, again, a good recovery here from Paul. Let's see what he can do. The gap now, Craig Curtis to Gabe Norse, is 1.88 seconds. We've got 3 minutes on the clock, and that tells me that Gabe Norse here could well be looking to grab a win in this one. 1.98 seconds is the gap. First to second position. Is Craig Curtis going to hang on to this one with 3 minutes on the clock? Remains to be seen. Let's look at Thomas Potter down in P4 now, as Scott Bugner now up into 3rd place. So good stuff by him, as Oliver Gibson now putting Potter under pressure. He's going to go for the high and wide run at the end of the main straight here. Is he going to be able to do this, or is he going to get the cut back? Thomas keeps it tight. There's half a gap, and that was very well read by Oliver Gibson. Has he got the momentum as they go up the hill into Druids to pass Thomas Potter? He has. Excellent stuff from Oliver Gibson up into P4. Thomas Potter down into 5th place, but a good run by Thomas. He's working hard as ever, and will be, if he gets 5th position here, will be well placed if he can get a decent result in race 2. Well placed for our final race of the campaign, race 3, where the results of races 1 and 2 are added together to give us our grid with the fastest drivers or top scoring drivers off the front of the grid. Oliver Gibson looking back. Now, will Thomas Potter try and challenge again? This is a great view. Is Potter going to go to the outside? Goes for the push originally onto the outside, sells him a dummy, goes down the inside but goes in too hard, locks up. I think he's going to lose out to Leon Frost here. Can't quite see at the moment from the timing tower whether yeah, Thomas has lost out big time outside the top 10. Hard lines, Thomas Potter. That was very, very bad luck indeed. So Scott Bugner now in 3rd. And Thomas Potter will hopefully recover from that. He's actually down behind his sister Catherine at the moment. So it was a good effort from Thomas Potter. Had a look down the inside, but just carried a little bit too much speed into Paddock Hill Bend, and lost out. 1 minute 26 on the clock. We're into the last couple of laps here on the Brands Hatch Indy circuit of the first race of the evening. Curtis from Norse and Bugner. Craig Curtis seems to have sort of shored things up a little bit. Goes down to 1.72 the time at the moment, as we watch Kieran Haynes, who is in 9th place now. So all of the championship protagonists are scoring well, including Gabe Norse, who I think actually no longer has fastest lap. That's with Kieran Haynes. So he gets a point. Paul Laramie ends up tangling as well. So Paul Laramie out of the mix, but it's still Curtis, Norse and Bugner. As we look at Oliver Gibson in a very strong 4th position, trying to get back on terms with Scott Bugner. Here is Jack Smith trying to close up on Luke Cooper. Those having a good race of things earlier on. Luke about to pass one of the a little bit of traffic dealing with him. I was going to say, is that Leon Frost that he's trying to go? Leon Frost is ahead of those guys at the moment. That's good driving from our slower car. Just moves out of the way, and they find themselves a lap down as Craig Curtis continuously 13 seconds on the clock for Craig Curtis, who is looking for another win in the championship. And it's a reverse grid win that is in the offing here. And this is the last lap. So he comes through Clearways for the last time, past the building originally known as the Fulton Centre, and now makes his way across the grid lines down towards the checkered flag. It's going to be Craig Curtis who will take the win. Well done, Craig. Another win for Craig Curtis, with Gabe Norse in P2, shoring up that championship lead in fine style. Scott Bugner, though, has set his stall out for this one by taking 3rd place. 4th goes to Oliver Gibson, 5th is Leon Frost, 6th Luke Cooper, 7th Jack Smith from Rich Hayden and Lee Piercy. Paul Laramie completes our top 10. Ollie Atkins is in 11th. Great late surge from Ollie Atkins in 11th place. And Kieran Haynes winds up in 12th position on the clock. So losing out a few points, Kieran Haynes, in that late stage. Let's just run through the other finishers for you. Andy Dorman and Daniel Heaps next up, 13th and 14th from Andy Carroll. Sam Gumbly, 16th from Alex Forster and Kat Potter. Callum Enstone, 19th from Thomas Potter. Mason Turner, 21st from Chris Blakey. Kian Haig, Sam Walton, George Harker, Olavo Castro, Aidan Ingram, 27th, and then Robert Shepherd, 28th. Good strong entry for our final evening of the campaign, and we'll talk to our top 3 drivers in just a moment. I usually have a breather when the ad breaks on, but this time I'm frantically doing maths to try and work out the points situation, and we'll talk to that once we get there. But we'll start off with having a word with our third place driver, who made inroads into P2 in the championship in that one. It's Scott Bugner. Well done, Scott. Welcome back to the podium. A good start. Brands is a short lap, isn't it? So does that mean more concentration than a longer lap, or how does it feel? How does it go?
Yeah, I think it's more concentration because it's a lot less places to overtake. It's a lot harder to overtake, and starting down in, I think it was 18th, it was a lot more difficult. It was just lucky for me again that a few cars went off, and me and Gabe sort of followed each other through really, and he just got a couple of cars ahead of me, and I just couldn't quite catch him. But yeah, no, it's a good track. I do like Brands.
And I was saying in the commentary, it's a shame that you had to sort of miss a round because you kind of had two rounds to drop as a result, which was a pity. And had you not, probably would have been nip and tuck between you and Gabe for the points.
Yeah, I mean, I missed Anglesey pretty much last week. Didn't turn up because I think I had a second or a third, and then I had like 2 18ths or 19ths. So it's a shame, but these things happen, and my real life racing come first. So I mean, I'm not going to let him have it easy. I'm still going to keep going until I know it's over, and if I can get second in the championship, then great.
I mean, yeah, you've halved the gap between third and second in the championship, plus a little bit more. I think 12 points now between yourself and Kieran. That's by my math, so people will know I'm not the greatest mathematician, as my uncle always says, in the world. But I think Gabe now 37 points clear of Kieran, and Kieran 12 points on yourself. So P2's doable.
Yeah, so I won't give up until the checker flag and race 3. So if we can, we'll definitely go for it and see what we can do.
Is there much to do on the real world car? Because you've got a couple of weeks off now. I'm guessing you're going to be doing the touring car series when that gets going in 3 weeks' time.
Yeah, I'll be doing the touring cars. Just a little bit. It's just plumbing the fire extinguisher pipe work and all that sort of stuff. Fit a new transponder, put some new tyres on it, and then we're pretty much ready to go.
Well, that's good news, and look for hopefully we'll get along and be able to see you racing in something this year. As I've got a few spare weekends, so hopefully come and spectate on some of those and get the camera out and just be a Billy, as Matt James always calls me.
Absolutely, wherever your local track is. We're doing some good tracks this year, so if we've got a local track close by, then definitely.
I will do. I'll have a look at the campaign, Scott. Great to have you back on the podium. Well done on P3.
Thank you.
Scott Bigner in third position. Second position, and closing up in the end stages of that race, Gabe Norse. Gabe, well done. Another podium, and good steady drive there. But you were the sort of front runner who made the most progress earlier on. And the gap now out to 37 points. So as long as you stay ahead of Scott and Kieran in the next one, you'll be provisional champion. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, having a bit of a larger gap definitely helps. I mean, I was just able to claw my way through that first race and stay ahead of all of my main rivals, which was good. I was catching on Craig towards the end, but I just didn't have quite enough pace, and he was getting quicker towards the end. So yeah, it was a very good first race.
How have you prepared for this last round, and has it differed from the way you maybe prepared for other esports championships over the years?
Well, this round I didn't actually have the track until yesterday, which was not great. But yeah, I mean, I did quite a lot of practice last night, and then today I've done quite a bit of practice because I've got mock exams, so I was able to do some a bit earlier on. It's
difficult balancing that, isn't it? I know some people who might not take the exams that seriously because and I've met a lot of junior drivers who go, yeah, I'm just going to be a driver, so I don't need the exams. But it is important to get what you can, and if things don't work out in the racing world, and even if they do, sometimes qualifications can help get you where you want to go quicker.
Yeah, I mean, it's been going all right at the moment, so yeah, I just need to focus on those at the moment and try and make what I can out of the racing currently.
Are you? What's the next exam? What's the next subject you got to study for?
I think I've got maths tomorrow morning, so I should be studying for that. But instead of doing this,
what are the hated things in maths? I mean, give me some things that you learn and you think, oh my goodness, why do we need that in maths?
I think all of the trigonometry stuff I just find completely useless. So yeah, that's pretty difficult.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff I studied, you kind of think, what was the point, other than if you were going to teach it to somebody else, but then what's the point of that? But yeah, I wonder when these curricula will catch up with the real world. But yeah, I guess it shows a level of learning, doesn't it? A level of commitment, a level of thinking. So it's all good. So I wish you well with that anyway, Gabe. Yeah, cracking race, mate, and good luck for race 2.
Yeah, thank you.
Gabe Norse, our championship lead, extends the championship lead, as we said, provisionally to 37 points. That's a race and a bit clear now, so super stuff from Gabe. Had the fastest lap for part of the time in that one as well. And we can go to our winner and another interview with Craig Curtis. Well done, Craig. Another win, so you must be pleased with that.
Oh, thank you, Rich. Yeah, obviously last race meeting for these cars, and yeah, been lucky to get on reverse grid pole in all fairness, but obviously I'm so down in the championship because I've only done half the races, so it kind of made sense I'd be on the front row at some point. But yeah, the plan was to make a good start, and once I got into turn 1 in the lead, then it was a case of controlling the race from there. If I could build a bit of a gap to Tom, and then Paul I think was behind him. And I think that the delta got up to about 4.5 seconds, so I started to ease up a bit. I took my time, and then before I knew it, Gabe was in P2, and he's about 2.5 seconds behind. So I better switch it up a little bit now. So yeah, it was a fun end to it. So yeah, if he was any nearer up the field, then I think he would have had me for sure.
He's certainly wanting to go out of the final round with as many points as he can, and could be interesting to watch race 3 if the pair of you are both at the front end for that. I'm going to talk about your handle because I'm looking at the little icon which tells me you're in the virtual commentary box with us at the moment, or the Park Firmate. It's Craig got milk ? Curtis. What's that all about?
Well, yes. Since I started HGV driving, my job is now to deliver milk to Asda stores up in North Wales a couple of times a week, and yeah, so it's Pembrokeshire's best Welsh milk. I joked with Rich earlier on, but yeah, it's West Wales' best milk. So yeah, I thought I'd change my name to reflect my career change, I guess.
Oh, excellent! I didn't know that. Oh, well done, mate. That's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
it's fun. Long hours, but well, I've been up for 25 hours now, so it's did nights last night, and then I've been out all day when I got back this morning. So yeah, I thought I may have an hour before I race tonight, but I thought my adrenaline's way too up for Brands Indy, so I jumped on the sim as soon as I I think got back, and yeah, just wanted to race these guys. So race 2 should be fun. I'm hoping to follow Gabe through, in all fairness, and hopefully get another podium. Fingers crossed.
That's good. You need to tell them what you're doing and get some big brand name sponsorship on the circuits for real.
Yes, definitely.
I think dairy companies are notoriously difficult to get money out of. There's a guy called Pete Morton who raced in Legends, and he tried. I think his missus worked for Arla. Tried to get them, but it's very, very difficult to get any brand names interested unless they've got a sort of connection or a passion to get involved.
Yeah, my one's pretty new. I think it only opened in July last year, June, July last year, so it's pretty new, but they got a few good contracts anyway, so maybe once the resources increase, then I'll ask them for some sponsorship. You never know.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, do some promotion for them, and yeah, even if it's in the virtual world to start with, that would be pretty handy.
Definitely.
Right, haven't got long for the second race, so I'll let you get away. Well done, Craig. Always great to have a chat with you. Congratulations on the win.
Thanks again, Rich. Hopefully I'll have a chat again in a bit.
Yeah, look forward to that. Craig Curtis, our race winner. Gabe Norse was P2 and Scott Bugner completing the podium. And I think we managed to overcome all of the, or cover all the problems that we had or didn't have during the race. And also kept you relatively up to date with the points situation going into our penultimate race of the evening. Thomas Potter winds up on pole position. Will he be able to take the win from here? He's got Callum Enstone behind him. Then it is Alex Forster, looks suspiciously like Cat Potter actually next up, from Alex Forster. Is Cat Potter, isn't it? Sam Gumbley there as well. So let's hope Sam can get a decent result in this one too. From Andy Carroll. Daniel Heaps in 7th. That is Thomas Potter's teammate. So it'll be interesting to see how the two teammates go, trying to score some points over the course of this race as well. Andy Dorman and Kieran Haynes next up with Ollie Atkins. So again, you look down the list and, you know, all of those drivers in the top 10 are, I would say, certainly capable of getting podiums. Actually, I'd say they're probably on the day capable of getting race wins. So it's getting so competitive now, the Virtual Reality Racing Club series, that whatever we put them out in, however we reverse the grids, then the people in that partial reverse, top 10, top 12, top 20, all capable of winning. This, remember, is the top 20 from race 1 reverse. So yeah, there isn't anywhere easy to start from. Lighting sequence is about to get underway. If this was the festival, it would be the second semi-final. I hope you can come to the festival later on in the year. It's a great event, and away we go. Good start by Thomas Potter and Callum Enstone. Cat Potter away too. So is Alex Forster. Good tidy start from these front runners, and of course it's less of a reverse grid start when you've got such high caliber drivers at the start, but it's going to get very crowded as they come up towards Druids for the first time, with Thomas Potter in the lead from Callum Enstone. Cat Potter looks on the inside. We get a couple of cars going sideways as we get to Druids, and there's a big sort out behind, and we'll try and work out who was involved in all that once they settle themselves down. But Thomas Potter is going for the escape route at the moment, the escape route being the track, and he is trying to get clear of everyone. He's nearly a second clear of Callum Enstone at the moment in P2. Alex Forster, steadier start here. He's in red in 3rd place. Then it's Cat Potter 4th from Sam Gumbley. Nice to see Sam up at the sharp end with Ollie Atkins in behind him. Then it's Kieran Haynes in 7th from Jack Smith, Andy Carroll and Dan Heaps completing our top 10 at the moment, ahead of Lee Piercy. And then Oliver Gibson. Gabe Norse here will be keeping his eyes on Kieran Haynes. Now, Kieran could claw himself back into potential championship contention here. At the moment, remember, if Norse finishes ahead of Kieran Haynes, then it will be game over provisionally championship-wise, and Gabe will take the title. But other drivers are going to have something to say about that. Thomas Potter leading well at the moment, 1.8 seconds clear of Callum Enstone at the moment. Alex Forster trying to close down on him. Cat Potter gets very close indeed in 4th position. Kieran Haynes will try and get a podium out of this one as well. Look at Kieran, nice wide line as he goes around Clark Curve. I've had a message from Rick Shortle saying he's disappointed he couldn't make it on. Thank you for getting in touch, Rich, and we will do this again Rick, in the future. So best of wishes, and we're going to give a little plug for Rick's book. Find it on Amazon, and it will tell you all about Rick's career. We were going to talk a little bit about that this evening, but go. Oh, and there's contact there. Cat Potter is out. Callum Enstone still in P2, but Cat Potter's out. It's Thomas Potter still leading. Callum Enstone now from. And dropping back is Sam Gumbly, who's had a little bit of an issue as well. So it's Alex Forster in third. That was a shame for Cat Potter as they went through Druids. Druids seems to be the place that is catching most of the drivers out in terms of the track getting busy. I'll get back to what I was saying about Rick Shortall's book, By Chance it's called. And it's well worth a read, whether you're into motor racing or not, but it charts Rick's progress as a driver. And the great thing about it is that it's a good read for youngsters as well, because it's a timeless book. It's about his journey through the sport, and you can actually read it. And you know, aside from where he mentions the year of the chassis or maybe like the Honda CRX that he was racing, there's nothing to date the story. It's still a relevant story for anybody to have a look at. So, you know, if a bit early for Christmas presents, but if you want some holiday reading, that's well worth it. So have a look at Rick's book. And meanwhile, Thomas Potter's still leading. Callum Enstone. We're on board with Ollie Atkins here, looking at the back of Jack Smith. Jack is very much due a win. Hasn't had one since Silverstone National, as Atkins looks down the inside. Can't quite do it there. Tell you what, this is a real treat for us, watching new drivers coming to the fore in virtual reality racing club events, and Ollie Atkins has been a very welcome addition to our ranks, and it's lovely to see new drivers going wheel to wheel with the likes of established star VRRC drivers like Jack Smith running in P4. We dip back a little bit further. Ollie Gibson has come through impressively into 10th place, chasing Leon Frost at the moment. So a good race between these two. Let's see how this pans out. Leon, who will be racing here for real on the 12th of April. So if you are watching this, either watching it back as a driver or watching it as one of our lot of regular viewers here, which we're very grateful. Thank you for watching it. As Lee Pearcey looks down the inside of Sam Gumbly, Leon will be racing in the new championship, going up against Tom Hawkins, who was our co-commentator, of course, in round 2 at Oulton Park. Looking forward to seeing how Tom deals with the switch from Swift chassis to Van Diemen in the Real World Championship. Really excited for April, really looking forward to it, and hoping to meet loads of people down at Brands Hatch. And yeah, a Billy day for me, and not working at the moment that weekend, so it'll be lovely to watch the racing. Although if anyone wants me to do some interviews, I'd be happy to do that, of course, as we now ride on board with Alex Forster. So looking back, Forster coming under pressure from Jack Smith, who pops down the inside. That's a good classic Formula Ford move, a super classic move from Jack Smith, going through on the inside up into 3rd place. Got work to do to close down on Callum Enstone, but Alex Forster, good stuff from Alex now, under the getting the attention of Ollie Atkins behind him. Remember, Ollie was right with Jack Smith a lap or so ago, so Jack has made the most of that as they go along Cooper Straight. Ollie Atkins comes out of the slipstream. He's going to dive down the inside into the left-hander at Surtees through McLaren. Lovely move by Ollie Atkins into 4th place. He'll try and now catch up with Jack Smith and maybe work with Jack to close down on Callum Enstone, who's having a really good run at the moment in P2. Let's hope that's not the curse of the commentator on Callum Enstone. 2nd place at the moment. Thomas Potter, though, is still our race leader, and nearly 2 seconds clear. Not quite the gap that we had from Craig Curtis in race number 1, but remember, Thomas is carrying 15 kilograms of ballast, so plenty for him to do. Lots for Alex Forster to do as well there, working hard at the wheel, as you saw. Still in 5th position ahead of Andy Carroll, so we might get our first on camera look at Andy Carroll. He's a little way back from this battle at the moment. Jack Smith now 7/10 shy of Callum Enstone, and he's putting him under pressure. You can see up front past the Fulston building they go. Can't remember what the Fulston building's called now. John passed away a while ago. As Callum Enstone in P2 here, defending, or will start defending from Jack Smith. Jack is attacking as they go through Paddock Hill Bend. Up the hill into Druids Halewoods Hill, that is, and into Druids. Out of Druids, the hairpin, they will go. Graham Hill Bend was reprofiled a couple of times over the years. And now they go along Cooper Straight, heading towards Surtees again. Jack Smith looking now to try and pick his moment. What's he going to do? Go for the inside here. Relatively well covered on the early stages by Callum, but Callum leaves the door open as he goes for the racing line out of Clearways, and Jack Smith didn't need a second invitation to go back through. And you can see what Callum Enstone has done there. By taking that wider run into Clearways, he gave him a lot more momentum on the exit, and that means that he can challenge Jack Smith back, but is he going to be able to find a chink in the armour of Jack Smith to get back on terms? But that's what Callum's line was all about there. It was all about trying to gain the momentum through Clearways and Clark Curve, and maybe, or a little mistake there from Callum. But still in P3 now, as Ollie Atkins is closing down him, so it'd be good if we can get Callum to be up towards the podium. Best result of the championship so far for Callum Enstone, 7th place, and well, now down to 4th, so it'll be made up, I think, if he can get a 4th place. Would have been nice to have had a podium interview with him. Alex Forster now gets clear sight of Enstone. Originally, those two were 2nd and 3rd as we approach the halfway stage of the race. Now, the question is for me, or two questions actually. Leadership-wise, Jack Smith is still 2 seconds down on Thomas Potter. Is he going to be able to close up? Callum Enstone has the fastest lap of the race, or did. Now it's with Jack Smith, 47.662. And we need to check on the progress of Gabe Norse as well. So Gabe Norse is actually 1 place behind Kieran Haynes, so that's answered my question. So at the moment, Haynes is in 13th place, which would be 7 points, and Gabe Norse 14th on 6, and that would be enough for the provisional championship, because Scott Bugner is down in 17th. So I'm guessing those guys may be involved in some of the shenanigans that we had earlier on in this race. So for Norse, it could be a provisional championship title with a little bit of a whimper that far down the order. It's going to be a pity. His target will be to get ahead of Kieran Haynes, although he'll probably just be okay with tracking him at the moment. So looking at Ollie Gibson 9th. Sam Gumbley still in 10th place. Sam Gumbley probably marking himself out as a driver here, potentially driver of the round. Certainly will throw his name in the hat, along with Callum Enstone with his 4th place. This is a absolutely superb job from Callum Enstone so far. I don't want to put the curse of the commentator on him, but Callum doing a good job. Even if Lee Pearcey, who's behind him, catches up, it will be a good job from him. Let's have a quick look at the results. This is where I have to juggle hit as we look at Andy Carroll looking to try and get past Alex Forster now. So Andy Carroll, one of our veteran drivers, he'll thank me for that. Veteran driver, no, probably won't. The others will probably call him that now as well. But yeah, one of our long-term VRRC drivers is Andy Carroll. Alex Forster could be in line to go in the hat for driver of the round as well. He's been working really, really hard as Alex Forster in this one. As we go along the straight down towards Paddock Hill Bend, we go again. Andy Carroll here taking it wide, but Leon Frost goes up the in. What a move by Leon Frost down the inside of 2 cars there, and it's a really tight squeeze as they go up towards Druids. And is Andy Carroll going to get ahead here, or is he not, of Alex Forster? Well held Alex Forster, masterly stuff from him. And we've got Oliver Gibson in the mix as well. That was a cracking piece of racing there, real proper Formula Ford racing from all of them. Just going back, now I can go back and check. Callum Enstone was 19th in race number 1, hence the relative front starting position that we saw from him. And this is the view back from Leon Frost. What a great bit of driving that was from Leon. And will we see that for real on the 12th of April? Well, we're getting a really good view of the battle going on behind. It's Oliver Gibson trying to get on the outside of Alex Forster. Gibson in yellow and blue. But Alex Forster gets in all crossed up, and he's going to be off and in the gravel. That'll be a safety car on Real World Day, I think, unless he's managed to pedal it through. That's just a big shame big shame for Alex Forster. He's a great lad, Alex Forster, and a good driver, but today is not his day. Is it the day of Thomas Potter, though? He's 1.3 seconds clear of Jack Smith at the moment. Smith still with the fastest lap. Callum Enstone ahead of Lee Pearcey, so Lee on home tarmac there could be in with a shout of a podium as well. And Leon Frost away back. You see how spread out they are around this circuit, which is why we're getting the lead cars happening across some of the drivers lower down the order as we get towards the closing stages. You've still got 7 minutes to go on this one. So it's Potter, Jack Smith in P2, Ollie Atkins in third place. I think I missed Ollie's pass on Callum Enstone. And we'll have a quick look further down the order. Kieran Haynes is now 9th, so Kieran Haynes is pulling some points back here. Kieran Haynes 9th. Let's just refresh my timing screen. Just check on the main screen to make sure nothing else is happening. Gabe Norse is 11th. So Kieran Haynes in 9th place. Yep, that ties up. So Gabe Norse 2 places behind him. So 11th is 9 points. 9 to 12, 3 points. That will take the gap back to 34. So at the moment, championship could still go. You get a point for finishing. 34, it's still going to be. It'll probably go to count back on wins, but provisionally, I think we're still looking at the moment. If Gabe Norse can get up into 10th place, that will put him back into championship provisional win. So need to keep our eyes on that one. Scott Bugner is behind the pair of them. So Scott down in 13th. Scott Bugner's just got fastest laps. That'll be another point for Scott. So no matter what you say, it all seems to change. And change is going to happen here because down the inside goes Lee Pearcey. Callum Enstone sees him. Good driving from Callum. Sees Lee Pearcey going through. This has been a good solid drive from Enstone now. He's going to come back at him. So a good challenge as they go into Druids. And again, very well measured challenge. No contact between the two cars. Pearcey has to go very slightly wide, but you can see they're giving each other room at the moment. And Lee Pearcey can consolidate that 4th position now ahead of Callum Enstone. So Callum's still in 5th. Still on for his best result of the championship, but Lee Pearcey edging up towards maybe getting another podium. Meanwhile, we go back to Jack Smith, who's in 2nd place. 5 minutes on the clock. Thomas Potter has been in this situation many, many times in virtual reality racing club situations, be it in sports car racing with prototype sports car racing, be it touring cars, be it single seaters, and in Legends cars as well, in our official Scottish Esports Legends Championship we had a while ago. And now that replicates again in the Geoff Page Engineering Super Classic Formula Ford 1600s. So we go along Cooper Straight. Jack Smith trying to close in on the Flying Teapot. This is going to be a race between two of our VRRC front runners. Ollie Atkins is the interloper as a newcomer in club racing. He's in 3rd place and completing the podium at the moment, but Jack Smith has got the gap now down to less than 0.4 of a second. Ollie Atkins 1.27 seconds behind them. He's got them in sight, which is absolutely key for him. And significantly, there is going to be a little bit of traffic, light traffic, for the race leader to do. But Jack Smith has closed up now, and the gap is virtually down to nothing as they go into Graham Hill Bend once again. Onto Cooper Straight, 4 minutes 15 remaining, and Jack Smith is going to pile the pressure on. Jack Smith with 10 kgs of ballast. One thing you know about Jack is he will bide his time. He'll wait for the appropriate moment. Didn't have the momentum there to dive down the inside. So is it going to be a classic, super classic pass at Paddock Hill Bend as they come through Clark Curve, experiencing the undulations of Brands Hatch, and Jack goes high and wide. Is he going to tip back here and go for the cutback? Is Thomas Potter going to leave him room? And is there momentum from Jack Smith? There is, and Thomas looks in his mirror as he sees Jack Smith moving up on the inside. Thomas will try and hang around on the outside, but just squeezing through now. Jack Smith into the lead. A beautifully executed manoeuvre and a great piece of racing from both drivers there. Potter down to P2. Has a little bit of a wide moment there on track limits as he tries to regain all his thought process and get back on the case of Jack Smith. We know now Thomas, though, is not under pressure immediately at the moment from Ollie Atkins, who's 3 seconds down. So Thomas will just basically now, rather than looking in his mirrors, can think about focusing on the car in front. And we've seen this many times from Thomas before. He will always fight back if he's able to. And here he comes, closing up big time as they go into Paddock Hill Bend and trying to get close. Bottom of Haywards Hill. Haywards Hill up into Druids they go. So Smith now 7/10 clear. Jack Smith, the race leader. Thomas Potter in P2. Ollie Atkins in P3. Gabe Norse is currently in 10th place. And Kieran Haynes in 8th. So let's make a note of those so that we can revisit our championship standings. See where they end up. Cracking move there. Oliver Gibson and Callum Enstone down into 6th. Leon Froster's caught up now as well. But again, this has been a good drive by Callum, and I hope that he's enjoyed it. Certainly had some top drivers battling with him, and he's fought back at each and every one of them. He's going to have to look in his mirrors now at Leon Froster, who's right behind him. But again, really good strong run from Callum as he has a look at Oliver Gibson. But it's Jack Smith still out front from Thomas Potter. Lee Pearcey in 4th place with Ollie Atkins ahead of him, currently in 3rd. 1 minute 42 on the clock to go. So just a couple of laps remaining in this second race of the evening. Gabe Norse in line for 10 points here. Kieran Haynes for 14. So he'll take 4 points out of the championship lead, which will put the gap down to 33. So within arm's reach, but it could be a last race decider as the pair of them, as we look at Leon Frost down the inside of Callum Enstone. So Callum now equaling his best result of 7th. He's got Kieran Haynes right behind him as well, but there's contact between the two, and they both go out, and that's going to change the points around as well. Would you believe it? I've done my usual trick of writing them down, and things have now altered. So Kieran Haynes is now into 6th place. Gabe Norse is still in 10th because the other two drivers have recovered. 6th place will be 18 and 10th is 10, so it's 8 points out of it. So championship very definitely live as we go into the last race as Paul Laramie. In fact, Gabe Norse up into 9th place now. But Jack Smith is our race leader onto his last lap. Thomas Potter in P2. Ollie Atkins still there in 3rd. Wait for Ollie to come into shot. He does. So too does Lee Pearcey. But Jack Smith has worked his way through the field in this one, and will add to his ever-growing tally of wins with the Virtual Reality Racing Club. I know he was delighted to meet up with Alan Bowles and the team at Race Retro a couple of weeks ago, and I think had some pictures taken in the car, as many of our drivers visiting that weekend did. But here he comes then, out of Clark Curve for the last time. It's going to be Smith, Potter and Atkins, your podium, as they come across the line. Jack Smith takes the win, the second win of the evening from Thomas Potter in P2. Ollie Atkins is back on the podium in 3rd place. We just need to look. Kieran Haynes will take 6th position behind Oliver Gibson. We just wait for that to be confirmed. Lee Pearcey is in 5th, so it's Atkins is next up. Kieran Haynes is in 6th position indeed and gets 18 points. Gabe Norse is actually 7th in the end. So Gabe Norse in 7th position, which is 14 points. Excuse me if I do the maths. So it's 18 to 16. 2 points for Jack Norse. So it's a 2-point gap, 35. And I think that is provisionally... Scott Pugner got the, I'm just doing the maths in my head at the moment. Well, we'll come to championship points a little bit later on because we need to work down. Let's do the remainder of the top 10. It was Smith, Potter and Atkins on the podium. Lee Pearcey next up. Oliver Gibson coming home next, with Lee Pearcey 4th from Oliver Gibson. Kieran Haynes in 6th from Gabe Norse. So a 2-point difference in that one, which brings the gap down to 35 points in the championship and 36 points still up for grabs. So not provisionally Gabe's title yet. It's going to go to race 3. Leon Frost in 8th from Callum Enstone in 9th. Good drive from Callum. Paul Laramie in 10th place. Went a little bit pear-shaped for him, as I think it did for Cat Potter as well. Scott Bugner completes the top 10. Then it was Andy Carroll next up. and both the timing screen and the timing tower doing strange things at the moment. So let's take an ad break and catch up with our podium finishers in just a minute.
I've had a lot of challenges in my life, and Helen was always there, supporting me through everything. Today, we're facing a new challenge. Helen has been diagnosed with a terrible disease. Dementia is nothing less than a worldwide epidemic. Formula One moves fast. By contrast, medical research can be painfully slow. We want to bring some of our Formula One technology into the laboratories. Our charity, Race Against Dementia, will help to accelerate the pace of dementia research. Let's beat dementia together.
So welcome back. The evening, not without its hiccups. Sorry about that, Steve. Our director's had a case of the hiccups. Just thought I'd tell the world that. But a glass of water, stand upside down and count to 100, that I think is a cure. Championship details we will come to as we get into race 3. But we're going to start off with our third place driver, Ollie Atkins. Great to have you back on the podium, Ollie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you very much for asking. Not many drivers do. Decent race there, up on the podium. And how are you finding Brands Hatch and Formula Ford 1600 in the rounds that you've done?
Well, I mean, the first round was chaos, and I was kind of expecting this round to be chaos as well. So, and I was right, but I just tried to follow Jack through everything because I was behind him for a while, and he kind of like opened the door so I could slip through as well. So I just tried my best to stick with Jack, which is pretty hard.
Yeah, he's got bags of experience. Obviously, he's done a little bit of testing, does the hot laps for this as well, and is a little bit of a legend in VRRC racing. And I did say during the race, it was lovely to see you as a newcomer to this group of people, this club, racing with a multi-champion, and you were keeping him honest for much of the race there.
Yeah, I think I just made a little bit too many mistakes, but I still managed to hold third. So quite entertaining watching Tom and Jack battle. I had front row seats, so it was very, very, very interesting.
What have you enjoyed most about the series?
Genuinely, I'm not sure. It's just you can have good rounds, you can have bad rounds, but it's also the people that are around. Like, they're all really friendly and all willing to help you. So,
Are you coming up? Are you coming up to Brands for the real world round as well?
Yeah, I think I should be. Yeah, hopefully I will.
Yeah, just tell Mum and Dad that it's in the contract that you have to go.
Yeah.
It'd be good to see you there. Any thoughts on the final? So obviously you've scored well getting a podium, and it means you're going to be relatively near the front. I think it also means obviously Kieran will be up there as well. We've seen you dicing with Kieran, and we've seen you dicing with Gabe as well, and obviously now with Jack. So in theory, we could have a classic festival type race 3 on the go, couldn't we?
Yeah, we could actually. I think the final race will be pretty interesting because obviously you've got all of the drivers that have had good results at the front, and then all of the drivers that have had not so good results at the back. So it's kind of it's a very good thing because you've got you kind of know who you're racing, if that makes sense.
Yeah. You get into a bit of rhythm, don't you, with people that you know.
Yeah.
That's good. Ollie, wonderful to have you back on the podium. Well done on P3, and maybe we'll talk to you after race 3 as well.
Yeah, hopefully.
I hope so too. All the best, Ollie. Thanks for chatting to us.
Thank you.
Ollie Atkins in P3, second position. It's been a while since we've had a chat on the podium. Thomas Potter! Thomas, how are you?
Hello, yeah, it's good to be back on the podium spot.
Nice to have you back. How are things?
Yeah, it's going good. I've got some announcements which I can now make about Fiesta Juniors, but whether to make that now or maybe at the end of this interview, it's up to you.
Oh, go for it.
So my race team, which I will be with, is BPC Motorsport, and my sister is also going to be their video person and social media manager, which is pretty cool, and it's incredible. And we've now got my car, thank you to Shield Chemicals, or Shield Lubricants, whichever name I want to go by, and they've bought the car. And so obviously huge thanks to them, and huge thanks to all the partners on board as well.
That's really great news, and there was good news today, wasn't there? Well, I think it's pretty much a sellout grid, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. I think most rounds itself is. I'm pretty sure there's a few where maybe there's a couple spots missing, but overall it's basically never seen a grid as big as that.
No, the Ford Fiesta Junior Championship has been very good the last couple of years. Thanks to the work that the VRRC are doing. They've got a very good championship coordinator in Esther Crook, who actually used to look after Formula Ford as well for VRRC. So there's a nice tie-in that we've got with Esther, and she will look after you guys, and I know she will welcome you and the family and the team with BPC. So thanks for letting us know and doing it here. Just quickly on that race, is it right you got 15 kg? I thought we didn't go that high.
Yeah, it is, unfortunately. Something I need to work on. Just not really got the hang of these Formula Fords, and then picking up a bit of incidents. But next championship I'll definitely be able to get them down. Just let's just say I'm not the biggest fan of open wheel drive cars.
It's something that you can practice and get used to, because you've proved with the podium performances that you've had that you can do it, and it's something that you can learn. And if the sim is a good place to learn, then you can maybe have a go in the real world a little bit later on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've done a bit of it on the name of the game, which cannot be said, but doing quite a bit on there. I seem to be pretty good on the Formula Fords on there. I don't know why, but I just can't get a hang of it on here. So something I will probably be practicing on. If there's ever another Formula Ford championship, I might be the one in Jack's position chasing down him. Well, I might be chasing down Jack instead of the other way around. So it will be pretty cool. But yeah, I'm just gonna get a bit more practice on.
Yeah, for sure. Luck ebbs and flows, fortune ebbs and flows in all racing. So yeah, I'm sure if this one didn't go quite for you, the next one will. But well done, Thomas. Great to have you back on the podium, and good luck for race 3.
Yeah, thank you.
Thomas Potter in second position, and it's not so like VRRC deja vu, isn't it? Because our winner is Jack Smith. Well done, Jack. Congratulations on another win.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Really happy with that one. Had a bit of a shocker race one. Just couldn't get through the traffic. I don't know what was going on, but yeah, this race, I thought, I'm just gonna try some things. It was a little bit risky. I went around the outside at the top of the hill, and I managed to overtake a lot of people, and that then set me up for the rest of the race. I just got my head down, really. And yeah, P1, so super happy.
That's good. It's been a tough championship, though, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's not been easy. I think this has probably been one of the toughest ones. Just trying to stay out of trouble. It seems to be impossible for me in this one, but. Yeah, hopefully for the touring cars we can have a bit better luck. But yeah, I'm super looking forward to touring cars. Me and Rich have been doing a load of testing to get these cars equal, and it's been a challenge, but I think we've got there in the end. And I just hope everyone enjoys it. Really. That's
good. Did you enjoy meeting? I think you went up to Race Retro, didn't you? Met the guys, the Alan and company, up there.
Yeah, met Alan. Yeah, I met Ollie there as well. Ollie Atkins, I met him there and his family, which is nice. It's always nice to put face to names. So Alan let me sit in the Formula Ford. He was trying to get me in, and he convinced me because I got my license that day. So yeah. Yeah. Well, wait, he did persuade me. He was like, you can have a go if you get your license, and I was like, all right. So I went and did my medical and got the license. So, yeah.
Good. Alan Bowles is an absolute star, getting the work that he does in this championship. I mean, some people do championship coordinating and, I don't know, just sort of stroll along, and people do a decent job, but Alan does a superb job at what he does. A proper promoter in the old school sense of the word in terms of racing is Alan. So that's a great job.
100%. It was top bloke when I met him. He was super nice to me, Ollie, and it's really nice. Again, to put a face to a name, it's quality. So love to meet everyone in this league. So it's always really nice.
Yeah, that's really good. Thoughts on race 3? It's going to be a lot of very good people at the front.
Yeah, we shall see how it goes. I'd imagine it's going to be a little bit easier in terms of traffic. Well, again, we'll have to see what happens. I'm gonna just try and get my head down, stay out of trouble, and we'll see what we can do from there. But yeah, hoping me and Ollie can work with each other. I know we're quite close to each other at the minute, so I'm sure we'll be able to weave our way through.
I think Gabe's on top. I think Ollie's second on the grid. Just looking at the timing thing at the moment. Craig Curtis third, Scott Bugner. So yeah, some good folk there.
Yes, been good company as always.
Yeah. Oh, it's changed now. I've got Jack Smith on pole.
It's me.
Well, have a good one, and yeah, give us some entertainment. This is our little festival final. This is for us. If you've never seen the Formula Ford Festival, treat yourself and go and have a look at some of the coverage on YouTube for sure. Jack, congratulations. Good luck for race 3.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Jack Smith, our race winner, and just to recap, we had Thomas Potter in P2, Ollie Atkins back on the podium in 3rd place. Going to be struggling for a driver of the round thus far, but we'll see what transpires here as Jack Smith takes pole position from Gabe Norse. Oliver Gibson, Craig. This is what it's about. This is what the Formula Ford Festival is like, where you get everybody working through the course of the event to get themselves at the front for the last race of the weekend. And this isn't a final, but it is in the sense of being the final race of the championship, but it's all kind of come to this moment. So very, very excited to see how this pans out. Lighting sequence will be complete soon. Good luck everybody for our final race, and thank you for joining us. Everyone on the grid, we've got someone a little bit recalcitrant, maybe mid-grids, Paul Laramie, who causes a few problems there. I'm not sure he was the start of that, so saying cause is probably the wrong word, but certainly involved was Paul Laramie. But it's Jack Smith from Gabe Norse and Craig Curtis in 3rd place at the moment, with Oliver Gibson and Scott Bugner elbows out for Scott looking around the outside, but Jack Smith made a good start there. Gabe Norse, I remind you, is 35 points clear, so needs to finish ahead of Kieran Haynes again. He's pretty much got one hand on the trophy really here. You have to say that. There are 36 points available in the race, 35 for the win and 1 for fastest lap as well. Gabe will want to go out with a win, and really we couldn't have. The only thing that would have been better is if it was Jack, Gabe, Kieran, everyone for the championship 1, 2 and 3. But it hasn't panned out that way, although Scott Bugner's just got up onto a potential podium position as well. So good stuff from Scott Bugner. But it's as good as it can get here in race 3 of our final event, because we've got the 2 of the biggest hitters in this club at the present time, Jack Smith and Gabe Norse, P1 and 2, and they're going to get stuck in. Scott Bugner in 3rd will want to close down as well. Oliver Gibson 4th. Then Lee Pearcey. Lots of yellow up at the sharp end, which is going to be good for those drivers to think about. Yellow car, yellow car, yellow car, for those of you who know their cabin pressure. And most of you are going to say, what on goodness name are we talking about? Going a little bit wide there is, I think, Callum Enstone, who gets shunted down the order a bit from 11th place. Callum had a good strong race in race 1, but it's Jack Smith still out front from Gabe Norse, as my screen momentarily freezes up on me. Kieran Haynes down at the in 10th position at the moment as the cars round Druids once again. Kieran Haynes in P10 at the moment. Thomas Potter's having a good run in this one as well. There is Thomas just ahead of Kieran Haynes. So yeah, any pass that you do here at Brands in Formula Ford 1600 or in any VRRC racing is hard earned these days. Let's have a look at Ollie Atkins now trying to get on terms with Lee Pearcey. Again, absolute treat to see these drivers going wheel to wheel. Let's see what Ollie Atkins can do. Pulls out of the slipstream. I think the youngest driver in the championship, trying to go around the outside of Lee Pearcey. Remember, Lee has raced real world Formula Ford as well back in the day, and Atkins going the classic cut back on the inside. Is he going to be able to do it? Pearcey trying to squeeze him. Good game between the pair of them. Gets very close, as you can see there. Lee running a little bit wide, has the momentum to grab the position. And Ollie Atkins has got to do all of that challenging once again. Runs a little bit wide, as does Luke Cooper. Luke always there or thereabouts, is up into P7. I'm watching those guys with Craig Curtis in behind. Smith and Norse. This is going to be at the front of things. Jack Smith is very definitely going to want to beat Gabe Norse in this one. Whether there's a little bit of Gabe thinking, yeah, I need to finish it, or whether he wants to go out with a flourish. I know he'll be able to, for the quality of his previous esports racing that we've seen. as Luke Cooper gets in to challenge Ollie Atkins as well now. Up under the bridge we go. Kieran Haynes, by the way, was successful in his karting endeavours at the weekend, winning heats and final at Castle Combe. So well done, Kieran Haynes. Didn't get a chance to slot that into the commentary earlier on, so we've righted that wrong as the cars go down through Graham Hill Bend again. And you've got to be careful of track limits there. In the real world, little sensors take pictures of the cars at the MSV circuits. Here we've got as many pictures as you want to see whether drivers will fall foul of Ian Danaher and Rich Hayden tomorrow morning in the final judicials of the championship. Here we go then. What a great warm-up this is for our first real-world Geoff Page Engineering Super Classic Formula Ford 1600 Championship round. I remind you, Sunday the 12th of April, I'll be going along. I hope to meet as many of you as possible on the day to enjoy two great Super Classic Formula Ford 1600 races and we can say a supporting cast from the VRRC. The other formulas won't thank me for saying that, but it's our show, isn't it? We can say what we like. But yeah, really looking forward to that. Jack Smith, 1.3 seconds clear at the moment. Scott Bugner is the man putting pressure on Gabe Norse. There's contact on the back of Gabe Norse's car. That's a shame for Gabe. Scott Bugner goes through. Again, that wouldn't have been an intentional punt from Scott. I did wonder whether he was going to hand the position back, but it wasn't to be. And Scott Bugner up into P2. He wants to go out with a win here. So are we going to see Jack and Scott going wheel to wheel? At the moment, Scott Bugner, Scott carries 8 kg, so not a lot. Jack on 10 kg, Scott on 8. Oliver Gibson on 7. And Gabe Norse again doing what he needs to do with 4th position. That really could have ended in tears for him, couldn't it? But it would have required, just to put it in perspective, if that had been a retirement or a drop right the way down the order. Oh, and there's more contact. Ollie Atkins involved there, and Lee Pearcey as well. Well, that's what happens when you get close racing lap after lap. Such a shame for those two. I don't think we're going to see Ollie in this one. Might see a different Ollie on the podium. Oliver Gibson, who gets fastest lap. So it's Smith from Bugner, Oliver Gibson, Gabe Norse. This is Craig Curtis in 6th place. So really good effort from Craig in race 1. He's going to head up towards the podium in this one. And again, lovely to see the likes of VRRC regular Craig Curtis racing here with Luke Cooper. Fancied Luke for the contention for the championship after the first 3 or 4 rounds. But again, it hasn't really fallen for him. He's been quality in all the rounds that we've seen. Looking forward to seeing him back in the real world Formula Ford and following his progress over the course of the season, Luke Cooper. Rich Hayden climbing back through the order in red, white and blue. He's in 8th place now, chasing Ollie Atkins with Andy Dorman down behind him. So they will pop a lap on, or Kieran Haynes down in 25th at the moment. So Kieran's had that, yeah, he had that tangle. So Kieran potentially here. I hadn't worked out Scott Bugner's points from the previous race. He got 12 points. So he lost 6 on Kieran Haynes, which takes him back to 18 points. At the moment, Scott Bugner here in 2nd place with 30. This would technically promote, I think, Scott Bugner to P2 in the championship with Kieran away down the order, which is a great shame for Kieran. But again, subject to judicials and everything else. Excuse me, we'll see how that pans out. But now it's Bugner coming under pressure from Oliver Gibson. Are we going to get... I don't think we've had the two brothers on the podium together in this series, but potentially that could happen. Here's the view. So Scott Bugner with Oliver Gibson in 3rd immediately behind us. Ollie's brother Jack Smith, the race leader. Gabe Norse being super smooth back in 4th place. Gibson, we're watching, chasing at the moment, is the man with the fastest lap, 47.619 seconds. Champion-elect Gabe Norse in 4th. Luke Cooper is 5th from Craig Curtis and Ollie Atkins. Paul Laramie's had a coming together, I think, with Daniel Heaps, which is a shame. Alex Forster's come through and he's in 10th place. Alex Forster having a good solid run as well, with Lee Pearcey in 11th place. And it is Jack Smith still race leader here. This is going to be absolutely key for Jack. I wonder if he's going to be able to stay in front of Scott Bugner. Scott will definitely try and hunt him down. And Jack would love to go out with a double win here. Just trying to check back. I think Gabe North's the only driver to have done double wins over the course of the campaign. Wins have been very difficult to come by, doubles even more so. So I know Jack would very dearly love to sign off with a win. Now, Rick Shortall sent me a note. He's not commentating with me due to the technical problems we mentioned, but he's sent us some points through. Had all of his homework done on a whiteboard, did Rick? So thank you very much, Rick Shortall, for doing that. And I'm doing quite well today because I'm normally a bit of a technophobe and don't look at too many things. But yeah, checking phone, iPad for timing, and also 2 apps on the phone as well, because we've got Messenger about driver of the round as well, which we need to start thinking about because we're halfway through the final race of the season for the Geoff Page Engineering Super Classic Formula Ford 1600 Esports Series Virtual Reality Racing Club. And the gap, Scott Bugner now 1.2 seconds, but Ollie Gibson is putting pressure on Scott Bugner here, so the battle is on for P2. And this could be a hard-fought battle. This, in some ways, could take the pressure off Jack Smith. If Oliver Gibson can maintain the pressure on the second-place man, Scott Bugner, and it will also, if they engage in battle, bring Gabe Norse back into it, with the potential for Gabe to get a final podium. I wouldn't put it past him to nip through into third or maybe even second place before the end of the race. But Jack Smith's still out front at the moment. Oliver Gibson's still the fastest man on track. The blue and yellow car that we're looking at comes into clearways, doesn't think about a move here. This is all about winding it up lap after lap, trying to get on terms with Scott Bugner. Through Clark Curve we go again. Bugner will be having an eye on his mirrors as we go along the straight. And here we go. This is momentum from Oliver Gibson. He's going to look down the inside here. They're both going wide into the corner. I don't think there's going to be a cutback happening here, matching each other at the moment. This is exciting. We're not seeing passes or attempted passes because really these two are very evenly matched. Slightly wider line in there from Gibson. Might give him a little bit more speed, maybe, as they go into Surtees. Let's see. He's probably too far back to make a move into Surtees at the moment. Needs to be a little bit closer. But he's trying to work. He's trying to suss out Scott Bugner in P2. Let's drop back a little bit further. Rich Hayden under pressure here from Andy Dorman. And along Cooper Straight there goes with 8 minutes 53 on the clock. And I'll be pinging some thoughts through on driver of the round. Race going on for P2 at the moment, and Scott Bugner still under that big pressure. Gabe Norse not getting involved at the moment. It's going to be cat and mouse between the pair of them. Gabe, the champion-elect, still in third place in red and white. Bugner gets a little bit further clear. He would love to break the toe here of Oliver Gibson and get on terms with Jack Smith. Let's have a quick look down the order. Kieran Haynes, yeah, I think Scott Bugner here doing enough for P2 in the championship. Last knockings. Not going to be enough to win the championship, but could be enough to get him into P2 on my maths. Again, all subject to confirmation. Now, what can Oliver Gibson do? Still with the fastest lap, Gibson in third place, and still keeping Scott Bugner. The great thing is that Scott's not, to my mind, being over defensive, so it's not compromising his lap speed. He's not really losing that much on Jack Smith at the moment. It's almost like he's putting in qualifying laps and doing so, maintaining speed and not being able to be, not losing out, but also because he's optimum driving from Scott Bugner at the moment, he's not having to compromise himself at all and doing a good job. I was going to say defending, but he's not defending. He's just doing a good job of maintaining the pace in second position at the moment. So Smith from Bugner, 1.26 is the gap as we go back to Ollie Atkins. Again, a good strong run from Ollie in seventh place with Andy Dorman down behind him. And really, Oliver Gibson, I think he's waiting for a mistake here from Scott Bugner. They are very, very equal, as drivers, but also in terms of machinery. Jack Smith has 10 kg, Scott Bugner 8 kilograms of ballast, and Oliver Gibson 7. Gabe Norse has got 9 kg of ballast, back in fourth place. and probably could now. Andy Dorman's just popped in the fastest lap. So Andy Dorman now with the fastest lap of the race, down in 8th place. And Ollie Gibson, what's the gap? 1.3. It's gone out by around about a tenth, first to the battle for second position. And what has Oliver Gibson got in his armoury? Rides the curbs just a little bit there, goes wide here, trying to get some more momentum. Won't be able to do anything on the brakes up into Druids and maintains 3rd place. Good, smooth stuff here from Oliver Gibson. 6 minutes remaining of our final race of the championship campaign. We've got a couple of weeks off, and then you can rejoin us in 3 weeks' time with the first round of the Touring Car Championship. Jack Oliphant will be on the microphone for that one with Becky Aparicio. I hope you're well, Becky, and look forward to working with you on the Touring Car Championship. As a little bit of traffic coming up for these guys doesn't faze them. Good driving from the car that was passed there, and is now having a quick look in his mirrors to see whether Gabe Norse will go through. Gabe dropping back here, and I think just consolidating the championship position. This is very much a championship winning drive from Gabe Norse in 4th position here, not wanting to get involved. He knows that there is still the potential to lose out in the championship. I'm sure if he sees where Kieran Haynes is, he'd probably think that that's actually not going to be an issue. But he's driving with his head here. Really good, solid, fast drive from Norse in 4th place. There is Ollie Atkins running well. So Ollie Atkins trying to close down on Craig Curtis. Has had a good, solid evening as well. 4 minutes 50 on the clock remaining. Let's see whether Ollie can take the battle to Craig Curtis and battle it out for 6th place. So Smith, Bugner and Gibson from Gabe Norse. Jack Smith 1.6 seconds clear now. A little bit of a gap developing. Scott Bugner, he seems to have shaken off Oliver Gibson at the moment, but I'm wondering whether there's going to be enough time for Scott Bugner to close down on Jack Smith. Jack is not a driver, a little bit wide there for Scott Bugner. Jack's not the sort of driver that tends to look at his mirrors and worry about who's behind him. He's been in front so many times in VRRC racing that he'll just plod on and do his, I would say, robotic laps, but that in essence can count to, robotic indicates boring, but he's quick, he's fast. There's nothing boring about that at all. And he's away, 1.65 seconds clear. Ollie Atkins still trying to close down on Craig Curtis. Love to see Craig in for a full campaign at some point. Andy Dorman still fastest lap, just passes Rich Hayden to go into 8th place. 3 minutes 42 on the clock in our final race of the season. So Atkins 7th, Craig Curtis 6th ahead of him. Luke Cooper in 5th, good consistent fast 5th for Luke Cooper as well. Just shy of the top 6 of the championship, Luke Cooper. But it's Smith from Bugner, 1.66, equidistant. Now Oliver Gibson dropping back a little bit, but consolidating 3rd. Gabe Norse 1 second down. 3 minutes to go on the clock. Probably too late for Gabe Norse to get the chance to grab a podium. We will grab an interview with Gabe, assuming he stays on, and I think he's going to wrap the championship up either way in this one, because I say Kieran Haynes is down in, I think possibly has had a couple of laps down, possibly out of the race, Kieran Haynes, but well down the order. So we'll try and grab Gabe Norse and have the final word of the interviews with our provisional champion, who's in P4. Shame we can't get him onto the podium, but not a shame as far as Jack Smith, Scott Bugner and Ollie Gibson. The yellow fellas out front, 1, 2 and 3 the VRRC regulars, but they've been beaten in the championship by the man who's chasing them in red and white. Gabe Norse will follow them. Norse is well clear of Luke Cooper at the moment. Cooper in 5th position. Luke in the distance, Craig Curtis and Andy Dorman next up. So Andy now ahead of Ollie Atkins. Ollie still with a good top 10. Alex Forster's 9th. He's had a good race here. And Dan Heaps has come through into 10th position as well. Lovely to see Dan Heaps up into the top 10. In fact, he drops down behind... Does he drop down? Let's have a quick look. Timing screen changing a little bit. No, he's still in 10th place. Chris Blakey dicing with him. Thomas Potter has a little bit of contact further back. But here is Oliver Gibson. He caught Scott Bugner, but he couldn't do anything about Scott, and he's just dropped away a little bit at the moment, maybe contenting himself. There is Thomas Potter, I think, going into the pit lane. It was lovely to see Thomas on the podium in race 2 as Jack Smith continues his run out front. 1 minute 27 on the clock. Last couple of laps here on the Brands Hatch Indy circuit. Blue skies, that's what we've ordered for April the 12th. Famous last words, he says, as Oliver Gibson continues to chase. Dorman still with the fastest lap. There is our third place driver. A little bit wide there. Jack Smith clear, 1.78 seconds clear. Double podium for Scott Bugner this evening as well. So he'll be pleased with that one as we go 46 seconds remaining, and it is Jack Smith who continues to lead. He's opened up the gap now to 1.8 seconds. Again, a little bit of traffic, maybe more traffic than we've seen the leaders having to deal with. That's probably understandable, isn't it, with the fastest drivers off the front of the grid in race 3. So the ones that have had the rub of the green, put the extra effort in over the course of the week, doing well. A couple of the Swift Cooper runners immediately in front of us. 18 seconds, going to be nip and tuck here actually on the clock, I think, as they come through clearways and onto the Clark curve. 8 seconds to go. It is going to be nip and tuck, isn't it? We'll see whether there is a virtual checkered flag being readied. 2-1. It is going to be a race win, and a second race win, a double winner. Jack Smith, well done, Jack. He knows he's got it. Timed that to perfection to take the win from Scott Bugner in second place, Oliver Gibson in third, and our new champion is Gabriel Norse. Finishes in fourth place. A superb campaign for Gabe Norse. Finishes the race in fourth position. Consistent, quick, whatever circuit we've thrown at him, the ballast we've thrown at him as well. Luke Cooper takes fifth position. Craig Curtis in sixth. Andy Dorman seventh from Ollie Atkins. And then Alex Forster, a good evening run from Alex Forster in ninth place. Lee Pearcey 10th. Then it was Chris Blakey from Dan Heaps. Strong run from Dan in the last race of the campaign. Sam Walton in 13th from Cat Potter. Andy Carroll in 15th. Alavo Castro in 16th. Good strong run from Alavo there. Best result was 9th earlier on in the campaign, but a good strong evening for him. Callum Enstone 17th from Mason Turner. Then Thomas Potter. Sam Gumbly, Kieran Haynes, Rich Hayden and Robert Shepherd complete our name check as our front runners enjoy some donuts, and we'll have a word with our top 3 and our new champion after the break. So, on to our final podium interviews of the series. And, you know, before we get into all the thank yous and cheerios, what a great series it's been. A lot of work gone behind the scenes to put our 8 weeks together. So, a big well done and thank you to everybody that's done that. But we've got the interviews to plough our way through. 4 interviews for you. Our top 3, first of all, in third position, Oliver Gibson. Well done, Oliver. Great to have you back on the podium. And a tough race there, trying to deal with Scott. I mean, you were right with him for most of the laps, and there weren't too many attempts, but you two were just matching each other lap for lap, which was fascinating to watch.
Yeah, looking back, I probably should have made a move, but no, I was just trying to see if we could work together. Obviously, if you fight, you lose so much time around here. So I just thought if we stick together, then maybe we can try and get a gap to Gabriel behind, and then maybe even if we're lucky enough, catch Jack. But obviously, it didn't work in the end, and I made a mistake and off he went. So apart from that, it was pretty boring for me. But no, it's been a good series. Shame we didn't win the teams and whatnot, but we had fun. So that's all that matters really in the end. And I'm happy to finish the season out with a podium. So that's always a plus.
Yeah, it's great. And I think the key thing is that it's introduced a lot of the VRRC drivers to something a little bit different, because there's always, I wouldn't say it's been a reticence to do single seaters, but it's not really something in the past that it's been prevalent, is it, in VRRC? So it's been good to have it, and it's taught people about open wheel racing, and it's teaching. And Thomas was talking about that on his podium in race 2. So it is a different discipline, which I'm glad you've enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's been good fun. I think we did a Formula 4 thing a while ago, but obviously that's a bit more downforce than we've got on these. But yeah, no, it has been fun. I'm glad other people have enjoyed it as well. Hopefully it's been good to watch as well. But I will probably be glad to get back in touring cars, because they are quite fun to drive, and the track list is pretty good. So it should be good. But obviously we've got, I think, 2 weeks till then, so plenty of practice and trying to learn this, I think, for a lot of people. So long time to go, and I'll be there for the next one. So looking forward to it.
We've got great to have you back. I won't see you till round 3. But of course, the big difference between touring cars and Formula Ford is that Formula Ford is probably a little bit more affordable, a lot more affordable than touring cars. You see, that's the selling point.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the real world. So and it's single seaters. It's where your Sennas and your Donnellys and all that lot came from. Eddie Irvine and all that lot came from. So it's really good. But great to have you on the podium, and you're a class 8, Ollie, mate. Always on the podium or thereabouts. And it's been good to know that you can do that in single seaters as well. So well done.
Cheers, thank you.
Absolute pleasure. Oliver Gibson in 3rd place. 2nd position goes to Scott Buckner. I think might be 2nd in the championship as well. Haven't done all the maths yet, Scott. I had a chance to look at the points after race 3, but that was hectic, wasn't it? And was there a little bit of contact between yourself and Gabe?
Slightly, yeah. I brake quite late for clearaways, and I think I haven't followed Gabe, and he braked quite early, and I just ran into the back of him and put him wide. But I would have let him back through if Ollie wasn't there. So, but yeah, it's good. It's nice to have finished Formula 4, but I actually really enjoyed it. For rear-wheel drive, it's probably one of the best ones I've had. So, yeah, I do enjoy it.
Well, we've enjoyed watching you, mate. And as I said in the commentary, during the early part of the campaign, you led it for 4 rounds. I think you were leading the show for. And as you said, real world racing takes precedence for you, and that's absolutely right and proper. But you've always been there. You've had wins, you've had lots of podiums, and when we've had the fastest guys off the front, you've still been up there as well. Just looking at the points, you've got 2nd ahead of. I don't know what happened to Kieran in that one, but made it through into 2nd position in the championship. So well done on a great campaign, mate.
Yeah, thank you. It's like I say, missing Anglesey, I lost 60 odd points, maybe 70, 80 points there. So yeah, when you look at that in hindsight, maybe we could have been a bit closer to Gabe, but well done to him. He best man one of the night, and we'll be back for touring cars where we can do a bit of door bashing and you get away with it.
Nice one, Scott. I say well done. Always a pleasure to have a chat with you and watch you racing virtually or in the real world, and look forward to catching up soon. If you can make it down to Brands for the 12th of April, it'd be lovely to see you there.
I'm at Cadwell that weekend. Yeah, I'm racing at Cadwell on the I could do it, but our qualifying's on the 12th of April at like 5 o'clock on the Saturday evening, and it's quite a fair old drive from Brands to Cadwell. So I think I'll be missing that one, unfortunately. So I don't know how I'm going to get my trophy. You might have to send it to me.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. Yeah, I'm sure that they'll look after that for you. And if you are racing, good luck, and we'll be keeping an eye on TSL.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
No problem, Scott. Well done, mate. And nice sentiment for our champion, Gabe Norse, as well. Before we get to talk to Gabe, though, we're going to talk to our race winner, double race winner, or double podium, we should say. no, double race winner. Let's get it absolutely right. Jack Smith, 2 races out of 2, and we're going to give you driver of the round as well, Jack, because yeah, stunning effort this evening. Enjoy it.
Yeah, it was really good. Thank you for that. That's appreciated. Yeah, no, it's getting off the line. I had a good launch, and I saw Gabe. He was behind, and then he got some company at T1 as well. So I just thought I'd get my head down. Yeah, and I mean, I did a lap within a tenth of each other every single lap that race. So it was a great effort, and yeah, I saw Scott trying to catch as well with Ollie. I thought they were bump drafting for a little bit, and I thought, there's no way Ollie's going to bump draft to me. Surely not. But no, it was pace, so fair enough. And yeah, just super happy to get the double. I was waiting for a good round, and this was the one. It had to come right at the end. But yeah, we got it in the end. So yeah, I'm really happy.
That's good. I think it puts you P4 in the championship, so you've got back ahead of Lee Pearcey this evening as well to go into 4th place. So we've got Gabe Norse, Scott 2nd, Kieran, Jack Smith, Lee Pearcey, Oliver Gibson in 6th, Luke Cooper in 7th, Leon Frost. So I mean, it's been a really, really good quality championship. I know a few of the drivers are sticking around for the touring cars as well. So I think that means they've enjoyed the organisation and the camaraderie, I dare say, as well.
Yeah, I mean, VRRC is always a quality championship, and you know, to get more people, like the grids in this were crazy. You know, 30 people on Brands Indy. You just wouldn't think it works, and it does work. And yeah, it's testament to everyone who's taken part, and yeah, the racecraft within that as well. I think progressively over the season, I think you can attest to this. It's probably gotten way better towards the end of the season, and I think everyone's sort of gotten used to how everyone drives. I think when you get a load of new drivers, it's all over the place because you have no idea what to expect and stuff like that. So going into touring cars, I can confidently say I would imagine it's going to be really, really fun, really great racing, and yeah, I can't wait to get started and hopefully mount another challenge, and yeah, we'll see where we go from there.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to that. Do you want to do your customary thank yous?
Of course. I'll be expecting 2 beers from Mr. Lee. Mr. Lee Ronald the Hot Cavern. Yeah, he's always watching, he's always commenting, so shout out to him and everyone at DK Power, Sherburn Rubber, MOT Centre. They're always there, always watching and supporting me along the way. Shout out to Dave as well. He's again always going above and beyond, and let me drive something for real as well. So it's always a pleasure to be racing for him and his team. Shout out to my girlfriend and my parents as well. They're always cheering us on, me and Ollie. So yeah, it's always a pleasure. And shout out to you all running the stream, and Rich as well for setting all this up. It's been a mega championship, so can't wait to watch it all back.
Good stuff. I hope you enjoy it, Jack. Well done on thank yous, and 2 difficult getting wins in this championship, but doubles is only yourself and Jack. Gabe that have done it. I always say Jack Norse. There's a footballer called Jack Norse, which is why I always come up with that. But it's confusing when you've got a Jack Smith and a Gabe Norse. You put the 2 together and you get the footballer. But yeah, well done, mate. It's very difficult to do, but nonetheless you did it. And yeah, just a shame about the illness for round 1, because I think it was close enough, but could have been even closer at the end of the thing. But we'll see for the touring cars. Well done, Jack Smith.
Thank you, mate. Just quick, well done to Gabe as well. It's really, really hard just coming into a fresh league and winning it straight away. So he's done a quality job, and I think he's been one of my top picks for the season for this. So yeah, he's done a quality job. So well done, Gabe.
Nice one, Jack. It's a lovely way for you to sign off. And let's talk to the man himself, our new champion, Gabe Norse. Gabe, I don't know if you're related to the footballer Jack Norse. Lives down in Sussex. Is that where you're from? I don't think we've even got on geography, have we?
No, I'm a bit west of that, I think.
So apologies when I get your name wrong, but obviously I've known the other lad for absolutely donkey's years, and when you've got a Jack here, it's a real pain. But I want to echo what Jack Smith said. Absolutely mega job coming into the championship. Didn't have the luxury of a drop round because you weren't in at round 1 because of the entries or whatever, and you've come in and absolutely stunning job. Talk us through that last race before we get on to analysis of the season. Obviously a tap from Scott put you off course, but how did you feel about that?
Yeah, I think first few laps went very well. I was able to just stay in second, and then both Jack and Ollie were able to catch me, which ended up with Scott and when Scott got a bit close, I think he touched me a bit. But yeah, it wasn't a terrible race. I managed to come home in 4th, just behind them. So yeah, it was overall quite a good race.
And the campaign, how many single seater championships have you done?
This is the first one.
Oh, cool. Okay, so has it whetted the appetite for, wanting to have it? I know you'd probably want to race anything. Most young people do, but is it somewhere you'd like to go?
Yeah, I think in the future single seaters would be good. It's just I'm quite tall, so maybe not the best for my body type.
They can always fit you in. Alan Bowles always says that you can get. How tall are you, Go?
6'2" at the moment.
Okay, yeah, and still growing, no doubt. Like I always used to go on about Senna Proctor when he was in the Ginetta Juniors, and I think Senna Proctor was like 6 foot when he was 14, which is crazy, and he's even bigger now. But we wish you well, and we're going to follow your career with a keen interest. And if there's anything I can ever help with, apart from writing checks out, which I can't do, but if there's anything I can ever help with, give us a shout, mate. It'd be a pleasure to be able to do something. But are you coming down to Brands for the first round?
I'm gonna have to see because I'm not sure if I've got a Club 100 round that weekend. So.
Okay.
See that one.
Okay, well, if we don't get to see you, hope that goes well. And again, we'll be, like Scott, if he's away racing, we'll be looking at the results and keeping a keen eye on things. And I hope we get to see you again at VRRC. But many, many congratulations. Thank you for joining us for the championship, and very well done on taking the title.
Yeah, thank you.
So that wraps up. Gabe Norse is our champion. Superb stuff. We have to have provisional in, but he's champion. Well done, Gabe. Absolutely superb stuff. Rich Hayden's joined us in the virtual comms box as well. It's been a good campaign, Rich. Thank you for putting it together. Alan Bowles, Ian Danaher have done great work. Steve Allen, our broadcaster, has done a superb job as well. Thank you to all our co-commentators. We started with Andy Charsley. We've had Tom Hawkins, Geoff Page, Harrison Morrow. I didn't get to meet Harrison, but hopefully will at one of the rounds. Wayne Pearson, who we normally catch up with at the festival. Callum Grant and Tom Nippers. Rick Shortle we didn't get to catch up with, but we will do. And again, a quick plug for Rick's book. Make sure you go and buy it. It's a great story and really a really good read. And I hope we can do Formula Ford again, Rich Hayden.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, it's been fantastic. First time of running the Formula Fords. Everybody has, worked really hard on it. Thank you to Ian. Thank you, obviously, Danaher for doing the clerking, and obviously thank you to Alan for allowing us to run the series for him. And thank you to all our co-coms, and obviously yourself and Steve for doing the broadcast. But obviously thanks to all the drivers that entered and gave us a good show.
It's been very good. Yeah, I can't wait for the. Are you coming down to Brands? I keep asking everyone the same question.
I'm definitely there. I am definitely there. We're I'm coming in the RV, so I've been chatting to Leon, who's also there with their RV, and we're talking about putting the I can't remember what it's called. the wagons in a circle. That's what I was looking for.
Like, I thought you were going to have an RV race or something. I thought you were going to say.
No. He wants to make an enclosure of the RV. So yeah, I'll be there. I think I'll probably be there late morning on the Friday.
Okie dokie. I might pop down on the Friday then as well. But it's Sunday, isn't it? The racing. So.
Yes. Yeah. I'm going for the weekend.
Very good. So you've got to sit through sort of 10 hours of C1s.
Yeah. I'll just put the telly on in the RV. It's
fine. For anyone from the C1 Championship who's watching, I do mean it. Yes. No, to be fair, they're good value as well.
Yeah, they're good fun.
Great way of getting involved. In fact, that's how Becky got started, our co-commentator.
Yeah.
Talking about Becky and C1s, it segues nicely into World Super Touring Car Championship. Jack Oliphant will be looking after rounds 1 and 2 with Becky, I think, on co-coms for round 1 at Assen. It's a good schedule that you've put together again. Yeah,
I'm really looking forward to this. The cars are a handful, but obviously we've got, they're super touring cars from the 90s, so they're going to be a handful. It's two very, very different handling cars, clearly. One's front-wheel drive, one rear. I'm really looking forward to it. Myself and my teammate, we've gone for the BMW, which is we're probably going to rue doing that selection. His traction control is locked off. So but it's going to be fun. So some great tracks as well to go to. I'm especially looking forward to Bathurst for round 2.
That'll be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
I'll be
absolutely.
watching remotely on that one as I'm away the first
No
couple of
problem.
rounds. But I know you and Jack and everyone will have a great time. So, Rich,
Thanks.
thanks for that.
No.
Thanks as ever. And I think that's us pretty much out here. I think I've done all the thanks. If I've forgotten to thank someone, I do apologise. But thanks for watching. That's a big one, isn't it? We've had a lot of viewers on this one, which has been really good. So thanks for watching. As I always say, be nice to each other, and we'll see you again very, very soon. 3 weeks for the next one. Thanks. Take care. Bye for now.
The inside of Coates. Parker gets too heavily involved. And that's Whitehead and Coates.